Is this the intro? Alright guys, so today we're going to show you one of our biggest projects that we're involved with for this year's SEMA 2022. I had to check, I was like, it's 2022. So it is a full wide body build by StreetHunter. If you guys haven't seen their release teaser pics of that kit, pretty crazy. So we've got Jay Cray's car here. We're the first step in the process of that build. So we're really under a big time crunch because if we don't land on our times, then no one else who has to do everything else on the car will have enough time to finish it before SEMA. So come back and we'll check out the progress on the car, talk to you about what we're going to be doing, and show you some of the things as we go along. All right guys, so first off, Jay's car was one of our development cars for our Bolt-in version 1 cage for 2022 BRZ/GR86. Since it's going out for SEMA, big build, we're not going to be just doing our standard Bolt-in. We're going to be doing a full Weld-in cage 6-point with gusseting on the A pillars, and we're going to see if we can get something on the B pillars. But the B pillars on this are very small. The interior of the car itself obviously is pretty small, so we're going to see how much room we have, because it's more important that obviously the outside structure and the bars of the cage are as close to the body of the car as possible. So let's come take a look. So as you guys can see, the guys in the fab department have already been at it. A lot of the work is going to happen later on in the cycle of the project, because what happens is a lot of test pieces go in and a lot of things happen on paper, just making sure everything works before we go and start cutting pipes and a bunch of the material. So we've got everything stripped out. We're not removing any sound deadening right now. There's not much on this factory car. So you can see right here, they've already got this welder grinded down, getting ready to weld onto. And the biggest thing is that, you know, we're gonna have to remove the dash and go through the dash. So we're gonna see if there's anything that's gonna intrude, any AC ducts, wiring, or modules back here that we'll need to be cautious of. So as you can see, since we're doing a Weld-in cage, obviously the front windshield has to come off. And the reason being, when you do a Weld-in cage, it's nice to have gusseting to the actual body of the car. So in order to get there and get to the points that need to be welded on the different areas of the tubing, we need this space to be able to weld without the glass in our way. Fortunately, Jay's been tracking the car a lot, so it's already got some nicks and knacks on the glass, so he's gonna be getting new glass along with that. And then moving to the side of the car. So for you guys who know a little bit about welding cages into cars, there's a lot of different ways to do it. The most common way is for people to make a box. Basically, if you can imagine like a rectangle or a square. And the reason they do that is because there's no way to get the main hoop that's already bent up to the size of the car to fit in the car. So what that box does is basically you're able to put the hoop in and then weld on top of it. And then once you put the box there, it goes into its position. Yeah, so we don't like putting a box where the main hoop goes, simply just to get to the fitment and the welding that I was talking about. But putting a box there is kind of contradictory to the Weld-in aspect of it, because the Weld-in obviously is stronger. So the way we do it is, you know, through experience. Carlos, our lead fabricator, has a good way of doing it that he used to use on trophy trucks and other things like that, where we don't have to put a plinth box. And this way we're welding directly to the body and the frame of the car. It's all done, and now we're just waiting for the tow truck. All right guys, so Jay's car's been back for a day or two from the paint. Stratsport did a really good job, Alpine White. So now that leaves us with 2 days to finish everything, and we're now on the second day. So yesterday we got the Brembo BBK on, and luckily Brembo last minute redesigned their mounting bracket. So on Dylan's car and on the other BRZ that we put a big brake kit on, we had to grind down the wheel hub. There's a lot of videos on that right now, but it did take a while to do that. We were super happy to see that the Brembo kit is redesigned and updated to have a bracket specifically for BRZ second gen. So that went on super easy. Brakes are bled, and then RS Future got the splitter and the diffuser to Jay, and he dropped it off. But the RS Future stuff is universal. So it's cut to the length and the width, but it's not meant exactly for a BRZ or a GR86. So we had to come up with our own mounting design and bracketry. Carlos and Anthony have been working on that all day. So the front splitter bracket is really nice. It's gonna be chassis mounted, probably gonna carry a lot of weight, and Jay's like wanting to stand on it. So we'll see if we could do that before it leaves. But the diffuser is a bit more complicated because it's a curved diffuser, which is a good thing because that helps a lot with the aerodynamics of what the diffuser is supposed to do. So what we did was found places to mount the diffuser to, and then obviously we had to get the Valvetronic exhaust on, so that went on yesterday. But the hard thing with this universal diffuser is that the height of it kind of limits where it can go. So obviously the car's in the air right now, but we don't know where the bottom of the diffuser is going to land once the car's on the ground. So besides needing that clearance, we also took into account that, you know, once we put a full aero package on this, which we're going to go flat bottom after SEMA, we made the brackets so that they're fully adjustable. But besides that, yesterday Anthony spent a good amount of time getting the rain light installed and wired. The wiring was the hard part, so it's mounted here on the factory light. And then the rear brakes, R1 Concepts just released their rear rotors for it, so it's got R1's latest rear rotors. I think it's the first one to be installed on a BRZ or a GR86. And then the steering wheel, quick release and all that. And then now the hard part, potentially hard part, is getting all the modules back into the dash. So that way it has at least a little bit of functionality, plus it's gonna look a lot cleaner instead of a bunch of holes missing in the dash with, you know, where the screen's supposed to be, where the gauge cluster and all that. It is now 4 o'clock and the car needs to be on a trailer in a few hours. All right guys, so it is now 9:30 and we pretty much wrapped up everything we need to do at this point of the build. So it's gonna go off to impressive wrap in a few minutes here. One thing that we do need to improve on is the front splitter. So again, going back, this is a universal splitter from RS Future. So we were able to make the bracketry that are chassis mounted, but with the fitment of the wheels and the body kit and just the way that it sits right now, you can see without an air dam, it's really high off the ground, like an iPhone high off the ground. So not only is that bad for the aero, I wouldn't say really bad, but it's just not as efficient as it could be. It just doesn't look good on a wide body car. So we made a call over to Dylan at Street Fighter. He's gonna rush a splitter, AKA front lip or air dam, which we're gonna repurpose into an air dam, redo our bracketry, and get this a little bit lower so that it looks better aesthetically, and then it's gonna obviously function better for aero. Besides that, everything else is in. The gauge cluster is in, the steering wheel's done, the radio head unit is back in, the panels for the dash just to make it look a little bit cleaner in. What else? There's been so much on this car. The brakes are good. The diffuser's been perfectly lined up. All the cuts are exactly even. The diffuser is perfectly lined up, and we made a little cut for the exhaust so that it doesn't melt it. I hope that's it, but really excited to see this come together. So, God, this build's like turned into a drama. I feel bad for Jay and Alisha because the tiniest little things have been happening. Like the other night, the wood hit the car when it was getting put onto the tow truck. Oh! Thankfully, no one got hurt because that piece of wood was pretty heavy. It was like 45 pounds. Luckily, Ivan at Stratsport came through for him, fixed the damage on the fender on that. And then in the recent days, like just little things, little random things have happened. Like the coilover started leaking when Reaction put the new system in, and now some things aren't like fitting, like there's not enough camber on the car. So car's coming back here. The splitter, obviously we knew the other day that it was too high because the StreetHunter lip wasn't on the car, and the company who made the splitter made it off just the bumper. The plan was always for the car to come back, but not for all that little drama stuff to happen. I'm glad you're smiling.
Why?
After all the shit that's happened.
That's the only thing I can do.
Woo! Look at that. So it's Friday. Car was supposed to be here at 1. It's 4 o'clock. But we'll get it done. Plates right there, dog. Guys, so Leo's not here because it's Saturday and he's been working hard helping with all the cars and stuff, so I'm actually holding the camera for once. But anyway, while Jay's car is getting done, we're figuring out some fitment issues. Camber gang. Daniel hit us up and he needs some help with the door handles last minute, but delivery on Daniel's car is all done, so let's go check it out. Look at this, guys. Jay, how's my camera technique, dude?
It's like this.
It's good?
It's like this.
What?
Let me. All right, let's do it.
I was like this.
I'm a camera guy. I'm a camera guy. Let's do it. Where are we at? Where are we at?
I don't know. She's back.
Huh?
She's back.
For one more emergency stop.
It looks so good. 1 and 2.
So this is perfect right now? Or this is too high?
This is already bottomed out.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's pull it out. I'll make another adjustment.
So Joel rebuilt this shop like twice. The first one, the reservoir leaked because of install, and now this is the second time because we're hella flesh. I want to poke it out, so.
Nice. And he rebuilt it twice in 2 days.
Yeah?
In 1 day, technically.
In 1 day.
Technically in 1 day.
24 hours.
Yeah, in the same 24-hour period.
And we even bought new tires.
Thank you, Dwayne. Shout out Dwayne, our compound.
Shout out Dwayne, our compound. Ken, for taking us for last minute adjustments and tires.
Will it fit? This is from a Gen 1.
Big brother can't help you. You already took my tow arm, so be happy about that.
Oh, this might work. It's the same car, I think. We'll get it when the owner leaves.
That's what I said. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I'm like, why is a wheel missing?
Why is this missing? Why is that? There's random parts. Two-way coilovers.
Look at his face.
Hey, Jay. You ever heard of Bluetooth fucking reservoirs?
How much did you pay for your Bluetooth reservoirs, dude?
Quick disconnect.
It's quick disconnect.
Very quick.
No, dude, that took a long ass fucking time to get these coilovers done.
No, that's the reservoir for your rear taillight blinker fluid.
Higher?
No,
That's perfect.
it gets rid of the, I don't know about lower, dude. It gets rid of the, what's the word for that?
Exaggeration.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's a little too high. Like, how did that line get all the way down to the shock?
Yeah. All right, guys, so it's actually finally done. That means every single thing that we did is done. All the stickers and the decals for all the sponsors and vendors are on the car. So let's go around and take a final look. I'll start off easy. APR provided us with the mirrors. These are a nice touch. They added a little bit of the modified aerodynamics to the car. Again, we did the Weld-in roll cage, which is a custom thing that we did especially for Jay's car, StreetHunter Widebody BRZ. We don't normally do weld-ins, but this is a special one-off project. So we went ahead and undertook it. They got it done at Stratsport. They did a great job getting it painted in Alpine white. I think that really sets off the race car look of this build. Going on with the interior, one of the hardest things was being able to get the full Recaro seat in here once the cage is in here. So it was a lot of testing and making sure all the numbers were correct, and Carlos did a great job making sure that we could get the seat in and out once the cage is in there. Once the car came back from Strass, the dash had to go back in. So we thought that was going to be a lot harder to do, but thankfully Anthony did a great job getting it back in there, getting all the modules that need to be in the car, like the head unit, obviously the gauge cluster, and some of the electronics and the buttons are all functional. So super happy about that. Easy enough. We got the work bell quick release on there with the renowned steering wheel. Adds a nice touch. Moving around to the back of the car, Amir did a good job getting the custom chassis mounted wing on here. The trunk and the quick release for the trunk is all done. The diffuser from RS Future is again a universal diffuser, so we had to come up with a bracketry system to mount it to the GR. Luckily the GR86 has a lot of room under there, especially with the Valvetronic exhaust, so we had a lot of room to play with to come up with the bracketry to chassis mount the diffuser. Going around to the side of the car, we got the RS Future side skirts mounted. One big thing I can't forget about is getting the rear wheel fitment to work. So because Jay went with such an aggressive offset on these works, what happened was the tire was so meaty, and the coilover that he had in there from reaction was too short. So this was poking out, and if it hit a big enough bump, it would have damaged the whole kit. So all that work would have gone down the drain. So luckily, shout out to Dwayne and Ken from our compound, came through on a Saturday to get Jay new tires to help with the fitment. These are now 315 Toyo R888Rs, and that helped a lot. On top of that, Nick from Impressive Wrap let Jay borrow one of the traction arms to help with the tow. So because we had to add a little bit of camber, it was more than what the tow adjustment would allow from the factory. But luckily with the new tire, the tow from Nick, and a bunch of work from Cody to get this to work, so now the car's completely drivable. Super stoked about that. That's what added a lot of time to the build. A lot of this stuff went pretty smoothly. The big brake kit, that was super easy. And then on the front, again, Amir provided a universal splitter, and then we found out that it was a bit too high because this StreetHunter kit has this lip, which we weren't planning on running at first, but when we put the splitter on the first time, it was way too high, and it was giving it a weird angle because the bottom of the StreetHunter bumper is obviously designed to fit with the kit, not to run with this universal splitter. So shout out Dylan for making this slip last minute, brought it out to us, and we got this splitter mounted, and it's much better than it was before. So besides all that, it finally came together, and overall, we've been asking people who've come by the shop to hear what they think about the car, but I think Cody said it best super late night the other night. You know, this car, Jay and Alisha wanted to build this car to track at Global Time Attack and do track days with it. Looking forward to the K20 swap next year on that. But like I said, Cody probably came up with the best description for it. This car gives off the vibe that, hey, I love to track, but I also like to party. Jay got in there and crawled through the back of the car. He did a lot of work on the car too, so shout out to him and Alisha for helping out. Couldn't have done all this stuff together in the little amount of time that we did without their help. So that about sums it up. It is now 9 o'clock. The night before, it's got to go onto the trailer. So in less than 10 hours, this will be on its way to Vegas. Go check it out at SEMA. If you guys aren't going to be making it out there, go check out more of this build on Alisha's channel at SoBeautific, and follow us on Instagram at Studio RSR, and Jay as well at JCray. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.